You are advised to refer Lonnie Wilson for one or two case studies, that is alpha line and Bravo line case studies. Nothing is there in that case study. Basically, they have explained about how value stream mapping can be implemented as a lean tool. But I have taken so many examples also in the previous lecture. And of course, one or two project work also done in this area. So no problem. But still, if you refer 2-3 case studies, that normally comes in last unit. So just to refer the textbooks of Lonnie Wilson for Bravo line and alpha line case studies. ಯಾಕೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟು ಹೌದೇನ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಿನಾಯಕ್ ಬಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬರೋಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡು ಅವ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಂಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಾ ಆ ಥರ ಇದ್ದೆ
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕುದುರೆ ಏನೇ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ.
ಹೌದೌದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ರಿಮೋಟ್ ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಬಿಡು ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ ಬಿಡು ನಾನು ನಾಲ್ಕು ತಿಂತು ರಿಮೋಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲ ಹತ್ತಿ ಒತ್ಬಿಡು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ತಂದೆ ಏನ ಗುಡ್ ಕಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಇದಾಗಬಾರ್ದಪ್ಪ ಅದು ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು ಎಸ್ ಇವು ರಿಮೋಟೇ ಬೇಡ ನಂಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಏನು ಬೇಡ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಏನು ಬೇಡ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಲೈಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಹಾಂ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಹೌದಾ ಓಹೋ ಬಂತು Yes. So I want to share some of the slides related to lean manufacturing and TPS, Toyota Product Development System. Okay. Basically this class is for summarizing the total lectures done so far since 2 weeks. You know the traditional manufacturing and lean manufacturing, how it's going to differentiate. Traditional mass production manufacturing systems are characterized by, so these are the basic characteristics of traditional mass production. High volume production of identical parts. Okay. High volume of identical parts only. It is a low variety, high volume. High direct labor costs. Production organized around large batches between operations. Okay, because the mass production is going for usually large batches. Certainly, in relation to the high batches, there are going to be high inventory levels. Maybe raw materials or WIP or finished goods also going to be high. Long lead times and long cycle times. Okay. Because each product may take, it has to wait for in each workstation for a longer time. So that leads to long lead time and long cycle times. A focus on individual labor and machine efficiency. Yeah, it's not an integrated approach here. A focus needs to be done for individual labor as well as machine efficiency. Management of quality through inspection and rework rather than prevention. Okay, so here it's not SPC, it's SQC basically. It is management of quality through inspection. Okay, that is checking the quality after manufacturing and rework rather than prevention. Okay, so normally lean initiative and all they take, so do at right time, do at first at right time, do right at first time only. That is nothing to be manufactured, defect component, no rework and all required. So always, even many times you can say zero inspection also. So manufacture the component, no need to go for inspecting it. Okay, everything is standardized. Strong functional organizations and strong divisions between the functions. Of course, traditional manufacturing requires the strong functional organization. So they should have that clear-cut functional hierarchy and the levels, and also responsibility need to be fixed among the levels. Otherwise, things won't go as per. So, and of course, there is a need to have strong divisions between the functions. Okay, this division is supposed to do this one and all. Okay, so clear-cut the distinction of division also required in case of traditional manufacturing. In these manufacturing companies, there are very high levels of inventory, long delays in the time from purchasing raw materials to actually selling the product and receiving revenues. So there is going to be too much of huge gap between the purchasing raw materials, then till the end product, and also getting the revenue back. Okay, now this at lean manufacturing. As most students of lean practices know, the concept of lean manufacturing or the lean enterprise was popularized by Jim Womack, okay, in his book, The Machine That Changed the World. This is very important. If you just refer one book by Womack, that is The Machine That Changed the World, and Lean Thinking. Womack extracted the core elements of his philosophy from benchmarking of automation production facilities. While the idea of lean manufacturing has gained popularity within the last decade, the core of the lean approach is based on the practice of TPS, a business philosophy that has been developed over 40 years. The essence of TPS has been described by two Toyota executives. Okay, in fact, that lean initiative is a practice of TPS. Okay, it has a history of 40 years. Okay, so there are two executives whose contribution is too much for a lean initiative in TPS. One is Taiichi Ohno as well as Shigeo Shingo. Okay, Shingo's classical book, a study of the Toyota production system from an industrial engineering point of view, 1981. 1981, Shigeo Shingo's book, a study of TPS from an industrial engineering point of view. An internationally famous consultant, Dr. Shingo, is credited with being the originator of the SMED, that is a single minute exchange of dice concept, and the POCOEC defect prevention system. Okay, the Shingo prize is given on his honor. Okay, so they also introduced a prize in the honor of Shingo also. And at Taiichi Ohno's TPS, in 1978, Mr. Ohno was vice president of manufacturing for Toyota, where the core operating system for lean manufacturing was developed. Mr. Ohno tracks the origin of TPS back to initial efforts in the 1940s. Of course, the contribution of these two is remarkable in terms of SMED or POCOEC or that is for lean initiative. These two classics continue to be some of the best and most accurate source of information on lean manufacturing principles and practices. That Shingo summarizes the basic difference between TPS and the traditional mass production. Okay, you can see the table wherein you can differentiate this traditional manufacturing as well as Toyota. Okay, see that feature one piece flow only in assembly. In Ford, for example, it is manufacturing. Toyota in processing and assembly. Okay, so in both the processing and assembly they use one piece flow. Benefit is shorter life cycles, reduced FI finished goods inventory, WIP or FG, so finished goods inventory also, and reduced work in process. Okay, so suddenly you can save less FGs, less WIPs if you're going for one piece flow. Next, lot size. Say in case of Ford, say traditional manufacturing, large lot size. In case of Toyota, small. So the benefit is WIP reduction and order-based production. So it's going to be some sort of a pull system. Okay, order-based production. And product flow. In case of Ford, it's a single product. Okay, only they could be able to make a few models. Okay, because large raw materials, large WIP and all, so they're going to be few models only they manufacture. And the mixing flow, that is in case of Toyota, okay, many models are getting manufactured in case of lean initiative like TPS and all. The advantage is that reduce WIP and they can change frequently. If they want to change a model, they can change anytime. And promotes load balancing, of course, nothing like loaded. So leveling, load balancing, everything possible in case of lean manufacturing. Okay. Now, what is the essence of the TPS? Okay, essence of the TPS. Why the you can just go through it. This I am sharing. You can also go through it. In what is one of the most insightful analysis of the Toyota production system is to date. Stephen Spear and Kent Bourne from the Harvard Business School, they published in 1999 article in the Harvard Business Review titled "Decoding the DNA of the TPS." One of their purposes was to distinguish between the visible practices like Kanban, visual control, reduced setup, etc., and the underlying system that drove the practices. So they have identified on a different process. Okay, so they want to differentiate to the traditional way of TPS, that is using Kanban, visual control, reduced stuff like SPID and all. So they wanted to differentiate one more system they developed. So they given the title as decoding the DNA of the TPS. They discovered an interesting phenomena. The essence of the TPS was not the rigorous application of established methods and practices. Instead, it was the disciplined application of the scientific method to everything that happened in the plant. What TPS had done was to create a community of scientists, that is, continuous conducting experiments on the production process. If we make the following specific changes, we expect to achieve this specific outcome. Okay, so it's what they have got a community of scientists with the objective of some specific changes. Any method is treated as a countermeasure, not a solution. Okay, so always measure it as a countermeasure only, not as a solution. The purpose of standardization in this context is not to enforce discipline, but to enable experimentation. You can't accurately test a hypothesis for improvement if you don't have stability in the system you are experimenting on. Read the sentence. It's so nice. In fact, see that. So they're talking about hypothesis as well as experimentation. The purpose of standardization is not, in this context, is not to enforce discipline, but to enable experimentation. You can't accurately test a hypothesis for improvement if you don't have stability in the system you are experimenting on. The core rules of the scientific community are tacit, not explicit. Okay, you can see that 4 rules of TPS. All work shall be highly specified as to content, sequence, timing, and outcome. See the sequence of this one work. Okay, that is the content, sequence, timing, and outcome. Rule number 2: every customer supplier connection must be direct, and there must be an unambiguous yes or no way to send requests and receive responses. Okay, so they try to, there's not any ambiguity there actually. Okay, like system of digital system, like 0 or 1, say yes or no. Are you able to supply? Are you able not able to supply? Are you able to supply quality raw material? Yes or no. Okay, they can't something give something vague answer like maybe, may not be. Okay, it should be qualitative answers like quantity in terms of quantity. They said, okay, I sent this much quantity only. Maybe approximation is not there. So no ambiguity. And so that's why they said always customer suppliers should be directly connected. Okay, yes or no way connection. Rule number three, the pathway for every product and service must be simple and direct. Okay, always the service and product should have move in a one path only. Okay, clear cut movement of the product and the service. Rule number four, any improvement must be made in accordance with the specific method at the lowest possible level in the organization. See, any improvement must be made in accordance with the scientific method. Okay, because they're going to be long last. You can document it. Any changes without having a scientific method, we don't have anything. That's why I always go for standardization and standard operating procedures, SOP and all. The core rules of the scientific community is always be tacit. They are learned through a version of Socratic dialogue where supervisors and managers ask questions that allow the workers to discover rules as a set of solving problems. Okay, so they should have always a two communications like suggestion and complaint should always go mutually. Okay, top, down, top, so that they can solve the problems. Okay, now we can say that TPS as a self-organizing system. Okay, TPS as a self-organizing system. A number of writers have noted that the underlying logic of the TPS is consistent with the principles of self-organizing natural systems. The science of complex adaptive systems theory studies the characteristic of natural systems and how they are structured to be able to evolve, grow and adapt. Systems that have the capacity for growth and adaptation live on the edge of chaos with enough structure to stay together and evolve, but enough flexibility to respond to new circumstances. These systems share a common set of characteristics, including autonomous agents, network structures, and process experimentation. Okay, so there are some important Toyota ways that is given by some Jeffrey. She has given summary of the Toyota way, how they do. Okay, adapt a long-term philosophy, long-term focus, base your management decisions on a long-term philosophy, even at the expense of short-term financial goals. Even though you have a short-term financial goals, always you should have the long-term philosophy, lasting, long-lasting. And second, the flow. Create a continuous process flow to bring problems on the surface. Remember here, you should visualize the problem. That's why they say, create continuous process flow to bring problems onto the surface. Next, a pull system. Okay, remember, to avoid overproduction, always go with the pull system, not a push system, to avoid overproduction. Level scheduling. Okay, always balancing the load. Level of the workload, as in continuous improvement. Okay, I told these terms already. Build a culture of stopping to fix problems to get quality right at the first time. So I'm telling this repeatedly, quality at the right at first time only. Okay, so don't build a culture of stopping to fix problems. Okay, that is sometimes you have to identify some problems. You're going to stop the machine, stop the process, only to fix the problem. That's going to stop entirely. So everything going to be idle and all. So always continuous improvement is like that. So we should have a culture of continuous improvement. Next is standardization. Standardized tasks that are the foundation of continuous improvement and employee empowerment. Okay, so for sustaining continuous improvement and for employee empowerment, should have always standardization. Next, visual management. Use visual controls so no problems are hidden. Okay, visual controls, everything should be shown. Okay, I think I have told in the chapter number 7 or 8, one of the strategy. Also told about transparency is one of the strategy. Okay, everything to be known. Okay, that's very important. It is visual management. Next, 8, technology. Use only reliable, thoroughly tested technology that serves your people and process. So always, see, the technology changes. It's a dynamic one. And today's technology may not be useful for another, maybe after 10 days or 1 month or 2 months or 3 months and all. So try to adapt a new technology. Meantime, it's not simply adapting a new technology without testing properly. Okay. So that's why the technology should be like what you call as a tested technology. Okay, tested technology and reliable technology. Now, one more thing, add value to the organization by developing your people and partners. Okay. Remember here, it's not only getting profit, but also adding value to the organization. Okay. Value to the organization. How they would have add value to the organization. One is leadership development. Grow leaders who thoroughly understand the work, love the philosophy, and teach it to others. Okay. Grow leaders who thoroughly understand the work. Okay. You have to develop leadership means those who can understand the philosophy and could able to lead the team and could able to implement it. So grow leaders who thoroughly understand the work. People development. Develop exceptional people and teams who follow your company's philosophy. So company have got some philosophy. So if you develop a team or a set of people, so they should follow. Okay, always they're going to some sort of reluctance from the staffs and workers. So make sure that you're going to develop a team such that so they are going to do exceptionally good. Okay, that's why they say select the exceptional good people in the organization, and they have to always follow the company's philosophy. Partner development. Respect your extended work network of partners and suppliers by challenging them and helping them to improve. Okay, that's why the just-in-time concept and all, they're all basically because of the good partnership from supplier and customer only. Okay, buyer and supplier. Unless you establish a good relation between supplier and buyer, so just-in-time concept won't work only. That's why always respect the network of partners as well as suppliers and helping them to improve. Okay, mutual. Okay, win-win. Continuously solving root problems drives organizational learning. Okay, see it. Go and see for yourself to thoroughly understand the situation. Okay, normally what happens many times now we trust on the documents, trust on the some people's comments or send low level people to see the problem and they report it. So we trust on the report given by the lower level and all. So make sure that you go you do yourself and thoroughly understand the problem situation. So he has given some principles. Okay. So those things I won't take over production time because this already several times I told about waste. Okay, during my lecture. So I'm going to talk about only the Lean principles. OMAC developed a set of 5 principles that form the basis for Lean implementation. Because they are used by many companies to guide their Lean initiative, they are worth repeating here. Remember here. So these are principles worth repeating because commonly adopted by many organizations as a Lean initiative to implement Lean manufacturing systems. Value must be understood from the customer's point of view. Okay. Okay. Remember, value must be understood by the customer's point of view. What customer is going to value? Okay. So it's not only in terms of getting the product, but also customer going to buy the product for the value of the product. Okay. So value should be improved or increased by buying product. So for example, the customer going to invest so much of lakhs of rupees to buy a four-wheeler, a car, something like that. The moment you going to buy the product, your value should increase. Yes, you own it. I own it. Okay, that's what value. So that's why they say voice of the customer should be seen. Very important. Value, one of the principle. Second is value stream. Okay, that is process documentation. Okay, basically waste reduction and lead time reduction, all those concepts. The process of value creation must be clearly understood and mapped out in detail. So the process of value creation must be clearly understood and mapped in detail. Okay, so using value stream mapping. So any flows should be mapped. Third, flow. All interruptions to the value adding process must be eliminated. Normally there are so much of things. So interruptions are there. While converting a raw material to end product, so some things are going to be interrupted, so that should be eliminated. And pull system don't produce. So to avoid overproduction, always go with a pull system. Don't produce anything until your customer asks for it. Demand-based production versus speculative production. So normally people are going for speculative production in anticipating demand. Okay, they manufacture, then they find the customers. So it's not the way of manufacturing. Always go for demand-based production. Okay, demand-based full system of manufacturing. Perfection. Never settle for good enough. There is always more waste to be eliminated. Okay, remember, never settle. It's nowadays people are commonly using. Have seen so many people talking about never settle. Okay, so never settle means you're not going to change yourself. You're not going to adopt technology. You're not going to. You are going to settle to the existing system only. You don't want to change. Basically, so that's why they say always never settle for good enough. Sometimes they say now we are sufficiently doing. So technology what you're doing is good. What machine we're going to is good. So they're going to feel that we are good enough. Okay, they don't want to change. They don't want to adapt any technology. Okay, that's why you might have seen that many companies, electronic company and all, they are vanished now in the market. Now they are not at all in the market. It is because they are unable to adapt new technology and all. So they settled for the existing things. Okay, so now settled for good enough. There is always more waste to be eliminated. By starting with value understood by the customer, OMAC pushed the lean philosophy out of the factory and into product development, sales and marketing, customer service, and other functions that are upstream from manufacturing. Okay, so OMAC pushed this fallacy not only for the manufacturing. Normally, what we say, we focus only on the downstream thing or with the manufacturing only. That is before manufacturing activities or during the activities. That is raw material, machining, production, quality control, marketing and all. So remember, OMAC tried to adopt this philosophy, OMAC's principle, even for product development, sales and marketing, customer service. Okay, those are all upstream in manufacturing. So it's very important not only manufacturing activity but also upstream activities also to be taken care. Yeah, what do you mean by that? The enterprise. Okay, I told about the lean initiatives, lean principles, lean manufacturing, value streaming, all the tools, everything I told. So, what do you mean by lean enterprise? When you say this lean enterprise is lean enterprise, the enterprise are organizations that are systematically eliminate waste from their process in order to achieve the highest quality, faster delivery, and best price for their customers. Okay, so these are the systems, organizations. They systematically eliminate waste from their processes to achieve highest quality, fastest delivery, and the best price. Remember, these things are essential to say it. So they are the lean enterprises. Okay, one of course, achieving the highest quality in all processes they use. Second, delivery is very important. Fastest delivery of the product and the best price. Okay, customers are willing to buy. That's why we say value to the customer or what to the customer. So these things are essential to say that they are the lean enterprise. Systematically means what? Systematically means improvement is built into the daily work of the organization. It's not a project or program. Sometimes they said a week, okay, this week we are trying to go for no rejection week. Means absolutely everybody are so alert that they are trying to avoid rejections. So they wanted to prove that this work, this week or this month is a quality week or quality month, a defect-free month, defect-free, so that during that period they're going to be alert and they don't produce anything of defect. But see, that's what they said. Systematically means it should be built into the daily work of the organization. They should not take it as a project. Okay, if you do this one for this period and all, so you should not take the project as a program. It should be daily. Okay, it's a culture, something like. Eliminate waste permanently removed, not taken out on the one-time basis. That's what. Okay, so this process, if you eliminate waste, check next week, no, absolutely. Okay, so waste should be permanently removed. And waste is anything that does not add value to the product. So remember here, you should know what you mean by waste. Anything that is not going to add value to the customer, it's nothing but already product or service. It's going to be waste only. Next, quality, delivery, and price. Waste elimination applies to all dimensions of the company. Okay, so not just manufacturing. Okay, so always quality, delivery, and price now apply to all dimensions across the organization, not only manufacturing. Okay, these things I told you already. That is lean tools many times on. And I told about leadership, Kaizen events, velocity mapping, training and all these things already told you already. Also told about the importance of the value stream map, explained you already. Okay, this also shown, okay, and it's also shown how to draw also, okay. Okay, quality, high quality scoreboards. Okay, lean scoreboards. They are basically performance indicators. Okay, like I said, they have given some characteristics of high quality scoreboards, easily visible to those doing the work, cover all important areas of operations. Team members understand them and participate in root cause analysis. They measure things, the unit controls. They are tied into a periodic review and improvement process. They are clear links to other levels of scoreboards. Just check out here, just go through this PPT, that which are the typical measures. Okay, for example, if it is a financial measure, then total sales, sales per person, value added, and outstanding are earnings. So those things should be known. Next, the cost, inventory turnover, average cost per unit, cost of quality, premium freight, set of time, and in case of delivery, on-time delivery, dock-to-dock time, cycle time, quality, parts per million, first-time capability, scrap rate, customer complaints, safety and morale, employee morale, improvement activities, last time due acute accidents, attendance. Okay, those are the measures. Okay, same thing. For example, even for safety, quality, delivery, or cost points, you can see that all these things are the measures or performance indicators. Okay, I think this also told long back about the stages of implementation. Just for summarizing it, I'm going to say here. First stage, benchmarking. Second, improve batch processing with some lean tools. Third stage, cell production based on one-piece flow. And fourth stage, integration of cells. Fifth, breakthrough analysis, redesign of basic manufacturing process. Sixth, Six Sigma integrated into lean. Okay, these are the lean stages. And of course, they change as per the textbooks and as per the principles of writers and all. Okay, so this slide talking about what are the opportunities you get. So the areas are mentioned here. Okay, which are the areas you can focus on. It's a very important slide for understanding. that where you can improve. Okay. So, say for example, product design, manufacturing, development, voice of customer, product function, engineering speculations, component design, production and tooling engineering, process design. So these are the areas you can focus on now, reducing waste. Okay. And see that also they have shown some of the majority of lean activities are focused in these areas. Okay, particularly in case of purchasing. Select suppliers, negotiate volume and price because price is also very important. Okay, best price to provide for the customers. Issues in purchase order, mistake incoming issue payment. In production planning, schedule production, monitor on time. Okay, in quoting, product costing, bill of materials, routing, overhead topic allocations, quotums. So these are the opportunities where you can know. So, but mainly focus on these things. Production plan. So these are the three core areas where you get a scope for eliminating the waste. Okay, so more opportunity there. Of course, the other areas, but normally these are all voice of customer not under control of us, can't be quantified. So product functions also, and there are some service aspects. So focus should be given for these three divisions: production planning, purchasing, and manufacturing, wherein you have got ample opportunity to eliminate waste. Okay, this I told already. See, also you can see the last portion. There is potential sources of waste outside market selection. I told already, so upstream and all. Market selection, customer selection, positioning and differentiation, product line decisions, product development, product design engineering, sales marketing, customer relation management, CRM, customer service, supply selection development, support infrastructure, finance and accounting. These are all indirect aspects for profitability. Okay. Though you have no scope to eliminate waste here, but they create an important impact on profitability. Okay, so that's why they also say, that's why they say there are the potential source of waste outside the manufacturing. Because after manufacturing, also, see, you have good right material, manufactured good component, and everything is there. You have got everything, but ultimately positioning and product differentiation with the competitor, market selection, customer selection, okay, targeting is very important. To whom you are targeting, product line decisions, product development, product design and product engineering also, sales and marketing, CRM, customer service, supply selection development, and these are all also very important aspects of profitability. Lead supply chain. Okay, so here, so the activities here, just-in-time supplier deliveries, supplier managed inventory, reduction of electronic commerce, that is all letter data interchange, fund transfer and all, supply and support, supplier target costing, supplier present costing. So this supply chain is very important. This supply chain, normally supply chain management, they are going to ask these things. So what do you mean lean supply chain? The extension of practices to a company's supply chain is a natural evolution from lean manufacturing practices. Value stream mapping process will typically lead to decisions on the part of the firm about what functions are and are not strategic and proprietary. Non-strategic processes are outsourced wherever possible, leading to a more network organization design. This requires the companies to work with the suppliers network on the adoption of the lean philosophy within their own firms and within their network of suppliers. So remember here, supply chain is done, network is done within the network of suppliers only. A leaning of the supply chain will typically lead to high levels of improvement in the efficiency of transactions with suppliers, including scheduling, verification of incoming raw materials, financial transactions, and overall communication. So normally it is focusing on the limited network of suppliers. So by having this one here, there are some advantages are there here. That is, efficiency of time is also going to improve with suppliers, and of course, no verification of supply incoming materials because you have the limited suppliers. You have the trusted suppliers, That's why lean supply chain also matters a lot here. Okay, these things I told the company strategy and all. Okay. Some additional points are there. Okay. So just to go through the slides, I'm sharing the slides also for additional information.